Is former Vice President Joe Biden for real, or are we all being trolled?
Almost 30 years, the culture, the institutional culture has not changed. And that diminishes the likelihood that other women will come forward knowing what they're going to face.
Biden's to-be-determined presidential campaign platform seems to be based on one message, one that Biden is apparently obsessed with: the rights of women to share their pain from sexual abuse.
When a woman sees a distinguished professor or a lawyer subject to that kind of cultural backlash, whether it was Dr. Ford or Professor Hill, saw what they endured, it's understandable that they're reluctant to step forward and tell their own stories of harassment or abuse.
Not the hellstorm on the southern border, or even the socialist drivel from his potential Democratic competition. Biden has come out swinging to protect women from men like himself.
Folks, I realize I get a little too passionate about this sometimes, but we all have an obligation to do nothing less than change the culture in this country. That's just the laws. We change the laws. Change the culture. The culture. You all know what the phrase rule of thumb means? Where it's derived from? In English common law. Not codification, common law. Back in the late 1300s, so many women were dying at the hands of their husbands because they were a chattel, just like the cattle or the sheep, that the court of common law decided they had to do something about the extent of the death. So you know what they said? No man has a right to chastise his woman with a rod thicker than the circumference of his thumb. This is English jurisprudential culture, a white man's culture.
It all began with one woman recalling her Creepy Joe moment, who will inevitably become hundreds.
Out of nowhere, I feel Joe Biden put his hands on my shoulders, get up very close to me from behind, lean in, smell my hair, and then plant a slow kiss on the top of my head. That in and of itself might sound like it was innocent and well-intentioned. But in the context of it, as a person that had absolutely no relationship with him afterwards, as a candidate who was preparing to make my case for why I should be elected the second in command of that state, to have the vice president of the United States do that to me so unexpectedly and just kind of out of nowhere, it was just shocking. I felt powerless. I felt like I couldn't move.
And when do the fathers and mothers get their 15 minutes of fame due to Creepy Joe's antics? Any parent will tell you, if someone did this to your kids, they would be lucky if they didn't get their teeth knocked out. But that's how they roll in Washington, D.C., where power supersedes human instinct. But relax, take your blue pill. Creepy Joe didn't do anything inappropriate. The Chicago Tribune reports former Vice President Joe Biden said Sunday he doesn't believe he ever acted inappropriately toward women, but will listen respectfully to suggestions he did. The Democrats are attempting to pass the media's hot potato.
He's also one who has said in situations like this that the default is to believe the woman, to believe the accuser. Do you believe Lucy Flores?
I have no reason not to believe her.
You know her? Do you believe her? What do you make of this?
I have no reason not to believe Lucy. And I think what this speaks to is the need to fundamentally change the culture of this country.
There's a lot of things I know about Joe Biden. I've known him for a long time. He is extremely affectionate, extremely flirtatious in a completely safe way. I am sure that somebody can misconstrue something he's done.
Creepy Joe Biden, the potential frontrunner, has taken the madness of the left to new heights, where the predator openly grooms its prey, while publicly suffering from a level of hubris not seen since Icarus flew too close to the sun. John Bowne reporting.